tell you, little girl, I'm moving on. Better take it to the heart, I'm moving on.
How do we mark a man's life's work? Is it by the amount in his bank account? Is it by the miles he traveled? Is it by the mountains he climbed or the medals pinned to his chest? Frank Sotile came to this organization when it was shaking. He saw quickly and clearly in the eyes of the children what needed to be done and why. Frank understood. And with strong, passionate, and kind leadership, he turned one room in a Catholic school into two. He turned those two into a gym, art room, homework club, tech lab, and games room. A place where all children were welcome. He turned what was an idea in Calistoga into a club, and then he did something remarkable. He turned both of those clubs into a home.
Kids have affected me my whole professional life. And it goes back to, I think, when I was a kid. I wasn't the student that sat in their desk and did my work and not cause any problems. And so I was the daydreamer in the class. And so my ear got tugged a lot by, hey, pay attention, Frankie. So kids, working with kids in my adult professional life, I think they've always reminded me of what I want to be. I want to be young at heart, and I want to never, hopefully have never lost that sense of play and that sense of adventure and that sense of questioning.
We were going through an exhaustive search for an executive director or executive to manage the club. And at the time, we had a certain profile in mind. And we had interviewed probably 15 people or so. And Frank was one of those in the class of people we interviewed. Frank was head and shoulders above everyone immediately. We all knew as soon as he gave his presentation that he was the one. It was clear that he had an administrative background, he had the personality, he had the caring and the passion, and just in the whole package, we knew he could take this club to another level. Instinctively, we just knew.
He is a big personality, spontaneous, generous, really dedicated to his work, and has a remarkable sense of humor.
Frank is a guy who always hugs everyone, and that's awesome.
Just an amazing man, very dedicated to the Boys and Girls Club and all the programs that are involved in it, and just an overall great guy.
I would have to just say he's just incredibly caring. And that's, he cares a lot about the kids, definitely cares a lot about his staff. I think that's probably the most word that describes him as caring.
I would say that Frank is just a real sweetheart, and he's also a kid. He is still a kid even though he's retiring, and I witnessed firsthand last year at our Day on the Green that before the events people left, he made a point that he and I got up on the bungee jumping thing and strapped in and did a few flips. And he was also one of the first adults that I saw get on a skateboard at the opening day of the skate park. And he had his skateboard and his pads and his helmet, And aside from the beard, I don't know that you could have told Frank from the backside from the kids.
One of the things I've always believed about with Boys and Girls Club is that unless you love what you're doing, you can't really do this job very well. And that was one thing that Frank always really seemed to emulate. He really enjoyed interacting with people and helping kids and really strived to do really good things for them.
One of the kids in my art class, when he would come in, she had a personal relationship with him where he comes in, she's like, "Hey, Frankie!" And he was just totally involved with the kids, so.
One thing I appreciate about Frank, a couple times where we go in, asking for money, right, and making a call, and maybe we weren't as successful as we thought it was, but Frank just always looks on the brighter side of things, and kept everyone enthusiastic, and we were obviously very successful, and I admired that.
He was incredibly focused on the job. This was probably his most important work that he had done, and he gave it everything.
What am I most proud of? It would be real easy to point to the St. Helena building and say, it's an incredible facility. It was a great team effort from every single staff person that was here donated to the building. Every single board member that was on the board at the time donated to the building. The building is just an incredible symbol of what can happen when people come together. So it would be really easy to point to that and say, obviously that's the biggest accomplishment. For me, the biggest accomplishment is the relationship that we have with the families and the kids here. And I go back to what I had talked about earlier in terms of that the club last summer had 5 or 6 staff members who were here as club members. When I started here, they were maybe in the 3rd or 4th grade. Now they're sophomores, juniors in college, and they're coming back. It's because they got something, and that's what I'm most proud of.
It's immeasurable, the impact that he's made on the club and the community. We were a struggling club, very small, working out of portables. Before that, the little tiny room over at the Catholic school. And Frank was able to take this program along with the staff that he had and put us in this beautiful building that we are in today. We were at a very few kids that we were serving, and he's been able to give us status and recognition, credibility among our donors. He's been able to make us a household name that parents in the community recognize and want to send their children to after school.
Most people in town know who Frank is, and what he's done for the kids and the family of the community is really beyond measure. I, this morning, was out on errands and ran into several people who have kids who go here and just are so grateful that this club exists.
The club itself is just an amazing club, and it's like a family. And so I would attribute that to what Frank has been doing for the club.
I think that Frank and really all of us here agree that he's helped make this more than just a club or a job. He's helped make it a family. And that's a really critical aspect to what we do. I mean, we don't look at each other as just coworkers anymore. And that's a wonderful thing to be a part of.
He's left a great legacy behind and a great foundation for St. Helena and Calistoga. So we really need to thank him for that.
So how do we mark a man's life's work? How do we mark the good work Frank has done for the children and communities of St. Helena and Calistoga? Do we give him a key to the city, or a savings bond, or a watch? Sometimes there is no finish line reward big enough to take the place of the journey it took to get there. So what do? We do what was taught to us by our fathers and mothers and taught to them by theirs. We say thank you. Thank you, Frank. Your mother and your father would be proud. Thank you.
Frank, I hope you have the most wonderful time now and the opportunities for adventures and excitement that you haven't been able to do. And I'm looking forward to you dropping in from time to time because you can see you've had this effect on all of us. Have fun.
Frank, it's been a wonderful pleasure working with you. It's been a great time, and I hope that you enjoy your retirement with many happy hikes and that we don't not see your face around, double negative, that we see you around from time to time. So thanks so much, and we'll see you later.
Thank you, Frank. Congratulations on your retirement. You're going to be missed. It's coming off.
Hey, Frank. I just want to thank you for the foundation and really building the clubs here. And I think there might be a job for you as Santa at the mall. Good luck. Happy retirement. We miss you already.
Frank, wishing you the best in the next chapter of your life. The club was blessed to have you. Appreciate everything you've done. God bless you.
Frank, I will truly miss you, and I do wish you well.
Happy retirement for you, and good luck.
Thanks, Frank. Thank you, Frank, for all you did for us. Have a great retirement. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank.
No, I actually feel like I'd be more comfortable talking to the camera if it had a fake beard and eyebrows.
So funny. You guys.